Yeah, okay. So, are you here with me? Hi. I don't know if you're here with me. That's where we left off, though. Um, also, can you hear me? Okay, that's pretty nice. Um, Let me readjust the volume here a bit. And one thing. Can you tell me if this is still robotic? Give me a sec. Is this still robotic for you? Like right now, if I'm talking, can you hear any artifacts? Slightly, okay. So that I didn't manage to fix, but I fixed camera thingy. There we go. Okay, so um, first of all, are you still here? It depends. It depends if the King of Fools is still here. Obviously, that's like where we draw the line. Because what King of Fools asked is a huge conversation, and I would like to have it. No, come if it's you, because you've been here, so it doesn't matter. You're fine. But I can continue the video until King of Fools is here. At which point I will address the question. So you're the target. Yeah, of course you're the target. And so, okay, let me show you something. So, do you see this blurry person? That blurry person is me, where normally I'm not blurry though. Did I unblur at all? Probably. So, as you can see, I have like, cute, thank you. I have like some assets. All right, so this is just to say that, for example, even though um, those exist, right? I don't necessarily personally strive to pass, as they say. So this is in relation to like the last thing you asked, the goal to transition to the opposite gender. So that's not always the goal. For me, for example, um, it's like I just want to feel comfortable in my body, right? So there is a limit that I will go to, beyond which it's pointless for me. And I don't necessarily care if somebody will see me and will be like, oh, that's definitely a woman. That's not what I crave. Like, as long as people respect that I feel feminine and I'm she, her, because I relate more to that, I'm fine. I don't need to pass as a woman. That was never my goal. So, as you understand, that's not always the goal. Therefore, going backwards to what you asked, it can be desirable to be in between. If you're asking strictly for in game, like strictly in game as a trans person, do you enjoy playing a trans character or a female character? Is that the question then? Is it this shallow? I was ready for some like deep philosophical shit, but I will gladly answer if that's the question. Which also, I mean, that in and on itself can be a deep conversation, to be fair. Also, my camera now works, which is a huge W. Um, so, hmm, I will be very simplistic with that. I will be extremely simplistic with that. Because the answer is extremely simple to me. It depends on the clothes I want to wear. So let's take Cyberpunk, for example, right? There are skin tight suits that I do enjoy wearing in that game. Now, in real life, wearing a skin tight suit would present a problem down at, that region. I would have to effectively tack to be able to wear a skin suit, like a bodysuit, right? Which tacking to me, even though with HRT size gets reduced, of course, and it's easier to conceal whatever you want. To me, tacking itself is not a comfortable experience, not too much. So that would probably stop me. And to answer your question, under that context, since I want to wear a futuristic like cyber bodysuit, I would prefer if the surface there was flat. Therefore, I would probably not pick a trans character, even though I did, by the way. I'm pretty sure I did. Therefore, I would be more likely to pick female to ensure that the clothes sit on the character the way that I would want them. I hope that makes sense. It's a very childish and simplistic answer, but it's like another word, another way to put it is like, if I would wear that in real life, I would tack. Since I don't like tacking, but I like the cloth, I will probably pick a female character. But do I enjoy playing a trans character? Yeah, no problem, obviously. As much as I enjoy playing a female character. Actually, I think in my playthrough, in my last playthrough of Cyberpunk, I'm pretty sure I played a trans character and also used those bodysuits, and I didn't even think about it. I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I think, I'm not sure, I think. But in Baldur's Gate, my character is trans. They do have like male reproductive organs, or she does actually. So it doesn't really annoy me, honestly. I'm pretty sure I have male reproductive organs. If I don't, that's just because I defaulted to female for some reason. Sometimes I just don't pick trans because I don't like. I don't really like how they design cocks that much, if that makes sense. Especially in Cyberpunk, I had this issue where I just couldn't. I was looking at the options, and none of the options felt like my real life options. So I was like, maybe drop it. It is, yeah, you could say that. Essentially, when I pick female, I give myself leeway. Let's say that. It's in a way for me, it's like how you would pick ice white hair because it's edgy. You're allowing yourself that indulgence, even though in real life that wouldn't work, and you wouldn't pull it off because it would ruin your hair. But because it's a game, you allow that to yourself, that absolutely just in your peak form, you know what I mean? So in the same sense, I pick female because I consider it a kind of leeway for me. Because for better or worse, I'm never gonna have SRS. I just don't fuck with surgery. I just literally don't fuck with anesthesia or surgery. Like, fuck that. I really fucking dislike it. Not because I have something against medicine, or science. But like, it's so scary to me. You have no fucking idea. I've had surgery once. Um, and I don't think I will ever go through it unless I have to. And it's a matter of, health. For cosmetics, I'm never going through that shit again. Fuck that. Fuck anesthesia. I don't fuck with any of that. Like, for real. It was not a good experience for me. And also, I don't trust a random doctor who is not even like an artist, okay, to design a vagina on me. Like, I just don't trust anyone to do that. Or to make the scars the way that I would want them to look, or anything like that. I just don't trust a person of science primarily to also have enough of an artistic vein and good fucking taste that matches my taste to design for me a vagina on my body. Like, I just don't trust that procedure. I don't think so. And because it's such a permanent and also I like options. Like, I like the option, since it's there, to, since I have it, to perhaps use it with, the appropriate partner, if it is, requested or, mentioned. Self-representation, yeah. And so you want to experience the struggle of real life also in the game. Essentially, you like playing on hard mode. No, it's actually quite the opposite. I like how I can be a trans person in the game, or any game, and for once in my fucking life, people don't give a shit. That is beautiful to me. That is like absolutely beautiful. So you could say it's for the opposite reason. I experience, if the game is immersive enough, of course, which, well, I don't know, Cyberpunk wasn't too much, and Baldur's also isn't too much. But if it is, and people don't fucking mistreat you for your gender, to me that's awesome. You know? The fact that, I get called a bitch and I get called an asshole, and it doesn't have to do with my gender, is such a huge relief in Cyberpunk. It's such a fucking huge relief. People trash talk your character, sure, but not based on your gender. And that is such a relief that even people who just don't fucking like you and would rather kill you, actually, they don't discriminate against you, though. And, that's actually very fucking cool. That's why I enjoy playing trans characters. But again, I will usually default to female just because I feel it's something that is like more done in games. And I don't want to fuck around with like cock options. I already kind of like, I feel okay with what I got. But if we're talking ideal utopic situations, like even in real life, right? If you gave me the option and you guaranteed, you were like, okay, I guarantee you, like, and you can't lie. It's like, if you say it, that's the way it is. And you told me it's painless and you're gonna design it, like you're gonna pick the options, you're gonna like whatever, everything, and it's gonna come out exactly as you see it in the picture, and it's gonna be like you're not gonna be laying in the hospital for like a whole week and being in a fucking wheelchair for another week or 2 months or whatever. You just can literally snap your fingers, pay, swipe your card, and you got a fucking vagina. I would actually do it. I would actually do it. But I think the levels at which, you know, science is right now, I don't think like I would even touch anything. And to be fair, again, without it being copium, but just genuinely optimism, I guess, or positivity, or like seeing the beneficial side of it, I do like the extra option, you know? It's a conversation that I've had with Katya, a friend of mine, where she's kind of the opposite, where she goes like, you know, sometimes I wish I could grow a fucking dick for an hour. Like I would like to have a cock for an hour, just to have sex with someone. There are some people I definitely fuck, and it's the same for me. Like yeah, you know, I would also like to have a flat surface there, just to put it that way. But even then, I would then also have times when I would be like, oh, damn, I could use a coke right now. And I mean on me, not in me. If that makes sense. But yeah, the truth of the matter is that if it was like a finger snap and completely inconsequential, I would also choose a more form fitting shape for my genital area. Because that thing, uh, again, even though HRT kind of like reduces it a lot, it's still there. And so, for example, again, you would have to tuck if you wanted to wear like leggings or whatnot. And that shit, I don't know. Besides, I'm more a skirt girl, honestly. I prefer wearing skirts. And in some weird, extremely weird twist, I also kind of enjoy the you know, the I can't explain it. What is that? Is it like it's not that it's forbidden or something, but or maybe I enjoy the contradiction that it causes when you see, for example, my body shape, and let's say you desire it. I'm not saying you specifically, and I'm not saying it's like absolutely desirable. I'm just saying like the thought behind it is that if somebody finds desirable, but then there is also like the fact that I'm born male, right? And that whole mind fuck kind of excites me. That somebody can have that mind fuck, for example. It's like it's extra kinky, you know? It's like it's extra spicy, let's say, because it's not the regular somehow. I mean, there is a reason why some people, you know, kind of get excited about girl cock in the sense of like it's kind of more kinky for them if it's there. Aside from, you know, obviously having the option to like to include it, I guess, if they wanted. And to some other people, um, a female body shape with male genitalia, let's say, is also arousing. So, you know, and who am I to disagree with the notion that I might be an object of desire? But in a good sense, not in the sense of like unhealthy objectification, but more like healthy, you know, lust, let's say, excitement, stimulation. It reminds you of high school experience. Okay, talk to me about your high school experience. Sorry if you can hear me vaping, by the way. When the conversation is good, I fucking vape a lot, trust me. I just go mad. Oh, is it the typical story? Yeah. Yeah. Not to diminish it. But yeah, it is a usual story. Long hair, they see you from the back, and they consider you, yeah. They immediately think, oh yeah, girl. Yeah, I can imagine. I personally haven't confused ever anyone for, you know, the opposite gender. I never had a moment where I looked at like a boy and I didn't know it was a boy or a girl. So I can't relate. But and also nobody ever. Um, I'm not sure if that's good or not, but I'm gonna say it. No one has ever hit on me thinking that I'm a girl because they will hear me talk, um, and my mannerisms are not like my body language is not too feminine. Like the way I dance, for example, can be feminine, but I I try not to let it be too feminine. Like if you see me dance like what you call it, um, EBM, for example, or industrial, you wouldn't call it necessarily feminine. You would call it probably elegant, probably nuanced, you know, but it wouldn't be a seductive dance of like a goth fairy or something. The Sphere Hunter, yeah, she was um, Sphere Hunter was like her career started with porn, didn't it? Because I remember her from certain from certain sites where I would visit, and I would visit them to see successful stories of trans people, and then be like, I want to be like them so much. I hope I turn out that well. That was my mindset back then when browsing, that category. I was like, damn, I'm jealous. Yeah, I can't say that I watch her videos too much. I've watched like a couple. One of them was good, so I gave it a thumbs up. And I think I left a comment at one point about Dead Space um, a long time ago, and that's it. But to me, it's like, well, first of all, that profession to me is like just like any other. I don't really, you know, have much to say about it. It's just a profession. Um, and hey, I have to tell you, I'm gonna be that person. If she turned you on, well, nothing wrong with that, I guess. Hell, if I turned you on, also nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't think in 2024, like I don't know how conservative you are, but to me, like in 2024, that shit just doesn't matter. And that was something that I had to struggle with myself. I'm not gonna lie. It started like I think it was a few years ago. I was, as is my usual, I was on a dating spree, um, a parasocial dating spree, that is. Not that I don't date in real life, but you know, it was really going. And I started exploring whether or not, just to put it that way, whether or not I would find a partner like myself desirable. And I came to the realization that yes, I would. And then I came to the realization that, well, HRT isn't a requirement. And then I came to another realization that in the end, it just doesn't seem to matter too much to me what the other person is. It was a process which took a little bit of brutal honesty and the right incentive to just consider if I would, you know, if I would hold back. And obviously the answer was no, I wouldn't in the end. But that doesn't mean that I don't have preferences or, you know, standards, obviously. But ironically, it took a person who was below my standards and outside my preferences to kind of like wake me up to that. Because I was like, okay, would I, you know, would I be partners with this person? I like their character a lot, and I mean their character as a person, not their game character, a lot. And so at that point, that was before I found out they were a complete asshole, by the way, but that doesn't matter because in the moment I didn't have that information. In that moment, I was considering him like an ideal partner. And my problem was, quote unquote problem, was that, for example, they weren't trans adjacent, let's say. They were not even femboy, to be fair, you know, but their attitude and their zest, their, you know, their whole personality attracted me so much that in the end I was like, you know what, I'd, yeah, okay, you know, I would, yeah. But after that realization, I also, you know, formed some standards. Obviously, that's when I formed some standards, some, you know, prerequisites, let's say, to be partners with someone. Because after we broke up with that person, I was like, yeah, you know, yes, but also no. Like, yeah. But yeah, it was eye-opening, I'd say, because up to that point I hadn't considered even the possibility. Up to that point I was like, I'm okay with male and female, and for some weird reason in my head, even though I was something else, in my head nothing else existed, just male and female. When it comes to sexual, you know, to preference in sex, right? Nothing else existed. And literally, it was just a wait a damn minute kind of moment. Like, wait, what? You know, how did I not consider that earlier? Like, what the fuck? I just never. I was so used, to be fair to myself, okay, to my defense, I was, you know, growing up in Greece, I was so fucking used to me being that I never fully consciously realized that other people, even though I don't know them, because you know in Greece that was like super rare when I was growing up. It does exist, and I can look into it. I can be interested, you know. Plus, there is, again, to my defense, there is another point that up to that point it was always male or female that I would meet, and nothing else. Getting more acquainted with the whole femboy slash trans adjacent, whatever you want to call it, kind of thing, that happened with Final Fantasy. honestly, when I first started like parasocial dating there, where I had to rub shoulders, let's say, with that situation, and again, and with World of Warcraft as well, I guess, and all that. That's like, when it became apparent to me that, hey, you know what? There are actually other people. And I mean, to be fair, again, like there are so many points to make in my defense here, okay? Because people wouldn't even admit it. They would just straight up say, I'm a girl. So it was, in many ways, it was like, and I understand them in doing so. There was a time when I was doing so, when I was very young, and I couldn't like do the things I did later. Um, but I did want people to see me as I saw myself. So yeah, I get it. I get it. It's fine. It's fair play, I guess. As long as it's not catfishing, fair play, you know. But now there is no need for that because like people are more accepting and more open, at least like in more situations or more environments than back then for sure. That's undisputable. So yeah, I started rubbing shoulders with that, and just like seeing if I would, and yeah, I would in the end. And I reached the conclusion that like as long as you have your standards and as long as you have your prerequisites, because not all people like chocolate and not all people like strawberry, and some people like lemon on the strawberry. It's just it's preferences. You can't help it. You're supposed to have those things. You're supposed to have your own like standards and measurements and everything. And I just figured them out, and from there everything just made sense. And it made sense to me that like yeah, I don't know, biological, what you got down there just doesn't bother me. Let's say. I think where I pull the brakes is, and don't take this wrong. Again, it's strawberries and chocolate, okay, and vanilla. Where I pull the brakes personally is like I don't think I would literally fuck a guy. I mean, I would probably not probably I would definitely fuck a femboy, obviously, but like a guy as in like a dude guy. I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's attractive to me. But like obviously for me it's like all options are open, if that makes sense, if you know what I mean. All options are open, but that option in particular, done that way, that's a no. That's a no. The opposite is fine, more than fine, but I wouldn't personally be topping a dude, just a dude, a regular ass dude. Um, yeah, it just doesn't somehow it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, like deep in my heart, it just I just don't feel it. Also, there is nothing wrong with being vanilla. I mean, it's super underrated as well, I guess. Um, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just totally valid, and I don't think it makes you conservative or anything. It's just again like strawberries and chocolate. That's it. Doesn't matter. If that's how you go, that's how you go. That's it. As long as you're having fun. When I said I don't know if you're conservative, I was meaning literally, um, as in that stuff irks you or something, or you can't talk about it because it upsets you or whatever, in that sense. But I don't really think that you would be that kind of person, or why would you be even like talking to me in the end of the day? Without vanilla there are no more humanites. That is true. That is true. And yeah, that's like one of the perks. You can procreate. To be fair, procreation, like, having a child was never one of my goals in life. It still isn't. So if I wanted to do something like that, I would probably adopt, I guess. I wouldn't, you know, because there's also the matter that I fucking hate kids. I fucking hate kids. Like, for real. Get fucked. I ain't dealing with your fucking diapers and shit. You know? See you when you're 9 or something. Then I'll fucking look after you. But fuck, like, changing diapers, not that. I saw some of that action with a cousin of mine, and fuck no. Fucking fast forward that shit. I ain't dealing with that. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna deal with that ever. That's just not happening. I did deal with it. I know people say, "Oh my god, if you had yours, it would be so cool. You would understand." There's nothing to understand, bitch. It's disgusting. I ain't fucking with that. You fuck with that. I ain't fucking with that. I'm not gonna be changing diapers and like waking up in the middle of the night and all that shit. There's no fucking way. I've been there indirectly. Indirectly, I've been there. I just don't fucking vibe with kids. They vibe with me quite a lot. I don't vibe with them. I don't know, like babies fucking vibe with me, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's not for me. That sort of thing is just not for me. Once they reach a certain age, yes, where you can reason with a person, when they can actually talk and understand language, like actually form sentences that make sense. Nah, they wouldn't, trust me. I ain't putting myself through that. That's so much copium. That to me is like so much copium. I'm gonna take my L for not being able to be a mother. But you gotta take your L with, yeah, birth and all that. Wow, such an amazing thing. Wonderful. It's a wonder of life. You're literally birthing another human. It's mind blowing. It's amazing. It's not for me though. It's like there's no way. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. There are some people who know what they want. I'm one of them in that department. I know for a fact. I don't ever want to have to fucking deal with kids. Ever. It's just not for me. I find it detestable, honestly, disgusting. I don't even like how they look. It's like little mutants running around. Like, fuck that shit. It's fucking weird to me. It grosses me out. I'm sorry. I don't care how cute you think like your baby is. Like, not your in particular. In general, I'm just talking in general. I don't care how fucking cute your baby you think is. I just don't like it. I find it like a deformed little human. No, I feel skipping the tutorial is the best thing right here. It's literally the best thing ever. The best thing ever. Fuck that. That tutorial can go fuck itself. I'm not in it for that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, nah. I'm sorry. No. Sorry. Just no. It's not gonna work. And even 9 might be like maybe like 13 or something, 12 or something. I don't know. I just said 9 because it's a single digit number, and I was like, yeah, you know. I would rather deal with like teen angst than deal with like 0 to 9. Like, holy fuck, I ain't doing that. Help me with the puzzles. Are those like muscles of dealing with puberty of a child? I don't fucking mind puberty. I do mind like the 0 to 9 is like such a fucking waste of time, specifically my time. If somebody wants to undertake that, more power to you. I ain't fucking with that. And I'm so tired. Like, also just people going like, oh, we actually had a child with like so and so, and like, yeah, it's so cute. I'm like, bleh, bleh. Like, I don't, you fucking don't talk to me about it. I don't want to know. I'm happy for you. Let's leave it at that, bitch. I'm fine. I'm okay on the fucking how cute your child is kind of stories. I don't give a shit, honestly. Take your little mutant, train it, and see you in 9 years. Yeah, I know that. Like, don't worry about it. I got it covered. I know how to deal with like with a person in their 13 or something because I remember how I was, and I was a complete and utter bitch, by the way. So I know a thing or two. But what I know about people who are like 0 to 9 or something is that I'm not fucking with that. Like, it is so fucking. It is just horrible. It is horrible. We need to invent a growing like chamber or something. That's the only way I would accept, like, giving birth if I could give a birth. And I'm also happy that I can't be pregnant, by the way, because that shit just seems like a complete fucking shit show. Like, I wouldn't fuck with that. I'm sorry. I'm happy that I don't have, like, um, days, let's say. I can't have days. And I'm happy that I can't be pregnant. And there is nothing that will change my mind. It's nothing to do with sexism. It's nothing to do with, like, any form of bigotry. It's just not for me. Like, for real, just nah. Sorry, nope. Anyway, kids is like kids of that age is something that, despite like my general like lack of, like, I don't know, self knowledge, let's say, because I know that I have a lot to learn anyway. This is something that I am absolutely beyond any doubt adamant about. I perfectly know where I stand on this. I perfectly know my feelings and reasons for it. There is not a single thing I don't know about it. I am 1000% sure I never want to like nurture a child. It's not for me. It's simple as that. Katya's brother and his wife had a baby, which now means that Katya is an aunt, which like is extremely just not, I don't know. Anyway, and she started doing this thing out of nowhere where she goes like, oh, you should listen to like the baby I recorded and it's so cute. And I'm like, bitch, just fucking skip. Just where is the skip button? Like, I don't like this fucking dialogue. Like, fuck it. And she was like, no, I was saying the same, but then I saw it and it's adorable. I'm like, oh my god, you're fucking infested with parasites. Leave me the fuck alone with that shit. Like, congratulations. May it be healthy and have the blessings of all the gods in existence. I don't give a shit. Don't talk to me about that. Well, we literally had a fight. We literally had a fight about that. And she's like my bestie. And I was like, the bitch, don't fucking talk to me. You know me for like 15 years at this point. You should know. Don't even try. Don't come to me with that shit. Keep it to yourself. I don't care how cute it sounds to you. I don't give a shit. You fucking traitor. Like seriously, if I saw, let's assume that I see, like, I open the door right now just to go to the grocery. I walk out of my door, and I notice like an abandoned baby or something. I hope it never happens, but let's say that I do. I What I would do in that situation is just literally call the police and fucking observe from a distance to make sure that nobody harms it. I'm not going near that shit. I'm not gonna make my presence known to that shit. I'm just gonna call the police. I'm gonna report it. I'm gonna leave it there because there's just no way. I'm sorry. A good friend of mine is currently pregnant. Let's hope I will not be chosen as a babysitter. Yeah, that's my experience with babies because I was with my other cousin. We were babysitting my cousin as a baby, and that's where I got this experience. Like that's where that cemented in me the fact I knew before that, obviously, but that experience cemented in me like, oh my god, there is just no way. Fuck that. Let that thing, you know, develop on its own. I don't care. For real. I don't fucking care. The only times that I had that I legit was okay with it, and that's like deliberate wording, like okay with it, to be in the same space without like feeling somehow uncomfortable, was when like there would be times when she would be silent for like half an hour, and I could forget that it was a baby, that she was a baby, because she wouldn't scream, she wouldn't cry, she wouldn't be hungry. She just stood there. Well, not stood, but like she just was in her, like, you know, cradle or whatever, and there was no need to care about food or anything. It was those times, some, you know, the down times, which were very very few and far between, because there's almost no downtime for a baby. In those times I was like, yeah, I'm okay with it, which of course, because it's like it doesn't exist. And then suddenly it's like, boom, now I exist, motherfucker. And you know, the crying starts, and you have to change the diapers as well, and feed it and whatnot, and holy shit. And it gets worse as they gain more abilities, as they unlock, like, you know, the ability to walk. That's fucked up completely. That's like, yeah, you don't want to know. That's fucked up. The more autonomy they gain, the shittier it becomes. How did we end up in this conversation? What the fuck? Okay, I think I've been on for like way too long. So the rest of the video is gonna have to wait. Though by now I'm actually inclined to not watch the rest, because so far, holy shit, does he make like not such a good job, in my humble opinion, with with his arguments. Sorry for that. Wasn't intentional, obviously, but yeah, he makes a poor case for a debate. Like I don't think that's a good case at all. The conversation saved you from watching this video, so there you go. Of course, yeah. And you know what else? Like another reason why I roll female, which is like the fact that the whole representing thing, the fact that you can actually have a trans character in games now, that is so recent. So my reflex is to immediately default to female. So there is also that. I didn't think about that, but I thought about it now. I was like, actually, that's a huge reason. That's like a fucking 80% of it is that. I'm not even gonna lie. And the reason, of course, why I initially was picking female character, ever since I remember me gaming, and there being a choice, is because that's how I feel over male. Like I am definitely female leaning, far more than I am male leaning. You know. Like if somebody just came to me and said, "We're in a simulation, and we're kind of resetting it, and you get one choice, and this is your permanent choice, and it will never change, and you only have like two options, male or female. Choose now." Without a doubt, I would say female. Without a fucking doubt. If those were my only options, I would. I'm just trying to show you, or tell you, express as it is, that I'm far more female leaning, and so that has been always my default option, and that has been like engraved. To be honest with you, like just for a second, if we pause just for a second and think about it, holy shit, I can play as a fucking trans character. Holy motherfuck, right? Like that kind of like zoomed past me, because like there's all this controversy that we haven't even celebrated the fact, or I haven't, because it's been mired in pointless, stupid, bigoted controversy so much that I never stopped to appreciate the fact that I can launch a game. I would have never thought, for real, I never would have thought this was gonna happen, and I'm so happy for it. I've never really just stopped and said, whoa, you know what? That's fucking cool. And so it hasn't really set in yet, Or I'm pretty sure that I would be picking trans characters far more often. Assuming I first beat the habit of picking female, because there was always only female or male. Like growing up, the only things you would see in gaming that had to do with gender identity were like some fucking speckles, Is that the word? Spec. Anyway, that thing, like tiny little fucking nothings, Oh, this character in that one obscure Japanese game, the title of which is unpronounceable, actually you can't see it and it's never said or implied, but that person is like actually used to be like some obscure references to some fucking mystical bullshit that no one can confirm ever, I think the most loud example that we ever had was like poison in Final Fight for some reason. And even that, to this day, is being disputed, retconned, changed, misinterpreted, reinterpreted. Like, what the fuck is going on? And that was the most you could hope for as a trans gamer growing up in the fucking 90s and 80s. What the fuck? That's all you had. Like one or two characters in some fucking insanely obscure like situations. What do you find interesting about playing a female character? I never understood that. I never understood straight people who played the opposite gender. I don't care if it was like a woman playing a man or a man playing a woman. I don't care about that. But like the gender doesn't matter. But straight people who identify as their natural born sex slash gender, whatever, you know, just vanilla as you call it. I never could understand why they would play. There is one take that I do understand, and that is you're a thirsty fuck, not you, but like in general. Someone being a thirsty fuck, for example, just needing to see fucking horny pixels all the time, or they can't keep their fucking interest, you know, up. But if you're not one of them, which that's fine, you know, that's fine. If you like your pixels, that's perfectly fine. Uh, but I was wondering if you had like a more esoteric reason, you know, a more nuanced reason. Because to me, currently, the only reason why a person of that description would play like a female character, or the opposite, obviously, if the gender is the opposite, would be either because they like looking at the sexy pixels, or because there is something there. Trust me. Listen, this is okay. So this, I understand your thinking. I'm gonna caution you that you are not going to experience the female experience like that. Trust me. You're just not. The closest you're gonna come to it is guys hitting on you. That's the closest you're gonna come to it. Getting like catcalled in MMOs or something. And that is not the female experience. That is literally like 0.1% of it. Even I don't have the female experience, I'm not gonna lie. It's something that you can't have, and neither of us can actually. For me, it's usually just aesthetics. It's why I personally have a 50-50 split. Yeah, you're kind of like a rare situation where you literally just look at the characters, like as you said, like the aesthetics of it, and in that manner, it doesn't matter to you if it's male or female. And I can attest, I can confirm that. I can confirm that you are basically one of the very few people who can look at it like that, Neris. If you intend to roleplay or interact with others, I do prefer male. Yeah, I can confirm that completely. If it needs any confirmation, I don't know why it would, but I just felt like saying it. My character in Star Wars Galaxies was female. In STO, I had a mixture of characters, but that was way later. There was no hitting on my characters. Yeah. If I had an option in MMOs to be trans, I would. I would definitely. Nobody would know, by the way. So it's like, just for me, it's one of the reasons why in a certain MMO, I'm not gonna name it, so that I don't get banned. Not that I'm paying or playing for it, but like, no need to get banned, side banned. I did use mods to give my female character the appropriate genitals, but that was like just like it was mostly for me to know that it's there, to feel less dysphoria. Like I wasn't looking for that option, but the moment that I learned that it is an option through modding, I was like, I'll do that. What is the recognizing factor? Um, well, if you undress your character, it would probably show. But of course, wearing armor and all the other fantasy attires that you have, I don't think a lot of people would know. It's mostly for you. It's mostly for you to feel um, more in tune with like what represents you on the screen. It's not really to do with like others, to be honest. Yeah, but even still, right? I would still pick it. I mean, right now with this conversation, I can't remember if my character in Cyberpunk was trans, and it's fucking with my brain because if I started now, I would play as a trans person. And I don't even remember in Baldur's Gate what I've done. Pretty sure your character was trans. Yeah, me too, right? Me too. And I think the same for Baldur's Gate. I think the same. I'm not sure. But I will change it to that now that I remembered it. Because for in Baldur's Gate's case, I literally forgot. I just literally just forgot completely. But yeah, it's something that I will correct. If, I'll check it out and see. In our personal playthrough, that was the case, but you don't remember the stream. Yeah, I don't remember either for the stream. That's the thing. I remember the private playthrough with Kaori. I remember that, but like the stream, I will correct it, whatever it is. It's fine. Like, let me tell you this: in System Shock, right? In System Shock, I picked female, even though I don't even see my character's body. Like, even if you do, if you look down, it's just boots and pants, and that's fine for me because female feels closer to me, a lot closer to me. And to give you another example, which I may have brought up with Dead Space, that's a very easy example for me to give. I don't in Dead Space, I don't feel I am the protagonist. It feels like I'm the camera, and that's why um, I can do it. That's why I can be fine with Isaac being male, because the way they have set it up, the immersion comes from seeing Isaac and his reactions and you know, his slow walk and his struggling and his all that stuff, and it kind of feels like this person is so different from me that it feels like I am a drone behind him, just maybe guiding him through a camera or something, and I'm just trying to keep him safe. It's a very different kind of immersion, which I don't really get from other games where you are forced to have a male protagonist. Like the gameplay is a lot more immediate, let's say. Dead Space gives you this feeling of you're also there. Like Isaac is there, but you're also there. And that has to do with the perspective and the camera placement. And the fact that there is no user interface, as in when you bring up the user interface, Isaac brings up the user interface. The ammo count is on the weapon that Isaac is holding. It's not in your face. Yeah, kind of like that, kind of like that. It's very similar to what you're saying. To a degree, I feel like I'm helping the character by playing the character. It maybe gives me a better feeling if I can take care of the female, so it's basically girlfriend experience at some level. Um, I wouldn't call it a girlfriend experience, but it's definitely intimate. Perhaps not romantic, but definitely familiar, intimate. That's how I feel with Isaac as well. It's like we're in this together, I have to help him because he's a cool guy and all that. And he's been through a lot and all that, and you kind of like sympathize. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what Dead Space does for me. Ironically, with the killing antidote, even though I can definitely, without a doubt, tell you that they have been inspired by Dead Space in terms of camera and everything, and like how Jodie feels, accepting the dodge. Okay, because the dodge just makes it kind of like less like that. Like the dodge, kind of like for me, it's kind of annoying in the sense of like I didn't have it in Dead Space, so I wouldn't I wouldn't like I wish there were other ways to defend, because suddenly dodging so much feels unnatural in the killing antidote. That's like something that I didn't like about it. But I can tell you, if you don't dodge, Jodie gives me the same sensation as in Dead Space, except because she's female. I feel like I'm immersed. I'm like here in the moment. I am Jodie. So it is in a way it gives me the same thing that Dead Space does, but on top of that, I also have the immersion of being able to relate and to feel comfortable being Jodie, you know? So it's a little bit more than Dead Space in that regard. But then there is the dodge thing, and I feel like that's way too arcadey, let's say. I don't mind it, but I would have preferred if there was like a parry or something, or a push or something like that, or if perhaps if the dodge was like less nimble and it was like more you use the dodge too much. I love it as a function. I love it. I'm just talking to you about it in terms of like immersion. There is dissonance between there is a bit of dissonance between how Jodie controls versus how nimble the dodge shows her to be. That is kind of immersion breaking to me. I feel like the dodge should have been clumsier, perhaps. Kinda, maybe slower. But they would have to rebalance the whole game. Yeah, I know that. That's not part of the discussion, though. I'm just talking about how it feels and how it looks, in relation to how Jodie controls in general. Yeah, but that's not the point. I'm not looking for solutions because I don't think it's broken. But it does create dissonance and it does break my immersion. Thank you as well for being here, Neris. Thank you for watching. I think I will also go because it's been like it's been a hot minute. Just use it less and it won't stick out much. Nah, they should just adjust the animation and the speed and everything. But again, you can't really do that because if you do that, you're gonna have to rebalance the entire game. What the killing antidote needs is a more robust melee system with more choices. As in, the axe and the knife are fine, and I wouldn't expect her to wield like a sword or something. That would feel like unnatural in the environment, I guess, unless she gets some kind of sci-fi gadget later on that is like a melee weapon, maybe a baton or something like that. Um, so the issue isn't the variety. I think a knife and an axe are fine and make sense in the setting, but I would like a way to perhaps maybe push an opponent off as opposed to dodging, or a more accurate, like, movement system. I'm not gonna lie, using the melee weapons doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good unless we're talking the kill moves. The kill moves feel fantastic, which aren't kill moves, they're just like grabs, I guess, that you do, which is awesome that it allows you to do grabs because usually, for example, Isaac in Dead Space cannot initiate a grab. Jody can, and that's nice. Um and so that's nice, but they need a block or a push of some sort, I'm pretty sure. Um, or, maybe they need to revise a little bit the light and heavy attacks. Because, for example, with the axe, the heavy attack, with the knife, it's kind of okay. But with the axe, it's like she suddenly becomes like a fucking typical MMO berserker, where she just spins and like it just feels a bit weird. And then you have the light hit, which doesn't feel that light, to be honest. I think the knife, between the two, the knife is the more successful one, I would say. But whether or not a baton would be a limited use, I completely disagree. Because it really just depends on how you're gonna use it. Because don't forget, a zombie without a jaw cannot really bite you. So yeah, it's one of those things you almost never see in movies. In movies, they usually go with like other weapons. But if you get one of those hammers that are for, a meat tenderizer, basically, a metallic meat tenderizer would be the perfect weapon against a zombie. It's small, it's not as heavy, you can quickly break off a jaw or teeth. You can break like, rotted wrists or fingers. You can literally even just push it, thrust with it, with the head of the tenderizer into the mouth of the zombie. And then how will they bite you? And of course, a hit on the head will probably crush it sufficiently. So to me, a meat tenderizer is light enough and small enough and actually will do enough damage. It doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be like a flat square. It can have like this what do you call them? Like these not spikes exactly, but you know what they have to ensure that if it hits, it's gonna like kind of not wedge itself in there, but also not completely get slip off of some kind of bone or something. A baton is well, it depends what kind of baton we're talking about. Because if you're talking about those the ones that like extend and have like um, a disc or a ball at the top, that's a little bit, yeah. Anything that extends has structural weaknesses, so I wouldn't want to use that. But a more robust one, like an actual, like the ones that they use like in riots and all that shit, the that looks like a tonfa, that thing, yeah, that thing count me in. A fire poker hook. I wouldn't. I wouldn't use a hook. I would avoid piercing weapons against a zombie. I would unironically avoid weapons that are like specifically designed for thrusting. And the hook is not for thrusting, but it is going to get, you know, lodged in there. You don't want that. What you usually see is like um, this I never fucking understood. Wait, I'll show you. Um, what the fuck is that? Is that like my camera firing up? What the fuck are you doing, camera? Why is my camera just engaging its like core? Oh, it's not even available, right? Well, can you fucking... Hello? Camera, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my god. This is unbelievable. Give me a sec. Skynet taking over? Yeah, but like, what the fuck are you doing, camera? Oh, there we go. Fucking finally. So can I now fucking search for that shit? Fine. There we go. So, you know how people just tend to do like... listen, I can't draw for shit. It's MS Paint, okay? I can't draw for shit, but like, let's assume that this is like a baseball bat, right? Even if it looks like something else slightly. You know how people like to like put sticks in it? Not sticks, but like nails in it and make that thing? That is so bad. That is such a bad fucking idea. It is such a bad idea. It compromises the structure. It also will get lodged somewhere. It's horrible. And it's also why I didn't like the barbed wire version that like Negan had. Remember? I wasn't a fan of that. It looked intimidating, but like, holy shit, is that thing bad? Something that would probably fuck up the structure, but would be more effective, would be like some protruding plating. So a bit of iron here, a bit here, just to give it, and you know, a bit here, just to give it like a little bit. You know, we're talking like not even sharp. We're talking like literally just protruding. You know what I mean? That would be a lot better. Like if you're gonna fuck up the thing anyway by inserting nails in there, better just do that. Yeah. A chainsaw would be probably the worst weapon you could have. That thing is gonna be chewing on fabric. It's gonna be getting caught in like stuff after your first kill, it's gonna be a fucking mess. After your first kill, it's gonna be unusable. Unless we're talking like 40k, where, you know, they have perfected the chainsaw to the chain sword, and that thing supposedly doesn't, you know, doesn't fuck around at all, even with like bits of armor, not just clothing. But that would be crazy. I don't know. If they were to give Jody another melee weapon, I would probably do the unexpected. I would probably do the unexpected because nobody has done that, and actually go for the meat tenderizer, because no one has done that, and it's the only kind of hammer that you could introduce, because you have the archetype of the piercing weapon, which is like the dagger they have. You have the archetype of the heavy like axe, which is like the fire axe, and now you need a mace. So I would say either a baseball bat or a meat tenderizer, which, because that would be very funny. That would be actually pretty cool to see if they took that idea, because I've never seen it in a game, and it is actually legitimately a very, you know, readily available weapon. And yeah, let's just say that it has the same chance to be in Jodie's possession somehow as a baseball bat, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if maybe in the next chapter where she goes into the R&D, maybe some guy has like his favorite baseball bat on a wall in an office. Maybe he's like a baseball fan, and then you use that. That would be very funny as well. I would love that. But the same could be said for a meat tenderizer, because she could be going through like the kitchen area of the R&D department. If they have to do sword though, if they have to do sword, okay, then for the love of God, don't make it a katana. Like, fucking please don't make it a katana. If it has to be an Asian sword, it should be either that very thick broadsword. You know, it has a very wide, like, you know, blade. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. Or that other very thin and long sword that is like a straight blade. Something like that. Please don't make it a katana or something. Yeah, it's short, but you can use it as, you know, you can use it as you would use your fist, kind of, exactly because it's short. And it does have the little bit of extra handle to actually be used as a mace. So it's somewhere in between. And you know, Jodie could either thrust with it, like literally use it as, instead of her, you know, instead of punching literally, um, or you can swing it, you know. And it's also small enough that it's like recovery wouldn't be unrealistic. Yeah, I would also go for Chinese swords rather than katanas, because it would be like such a wasted opportunity. There is like this Chinese sword design that I really love, which is like it's literally just like this. Wait, and it's a very long one as well. It's quite long. At least the handle is. It's like this. Um, this is like, of course, a very simplified design, obviously, and it doesn't have like a hand guard. It just has like a very long hilt. I don't know if you know the one. I love that sword. It's a very cool design. I'm not sure whether or not it has a hand guard. If it does, it's a small one though. It's a very, very small one, superficial. That's what I remember. There is a For Honor character that actually has that. I don't remember the name. Yeah, but that one is iconic. Like that one, if you see it, you're gonna be like, ah, that one. It really just is. It's really nice. Some do, yeah, but this one doesn't. This one is like such a straight blade, and it's differently structured. I feel it would be probably kind of okay for Jody. Though the broadsword is probably more suitable because of the tight spaces that you usually find yourself in. And when I say broadsword, I mean like this Chinese design, which is like a little bit like this, just a little bit. That the blade, I mean, that kind of thing is what perhaps they should give here for like tight spaces and all that. You can just like kind of slice and dice with that shit. It's kind of nimble, and the curve also helps it, cut more precisely. It's not really that heavy because of the balance. It's very well balanced, and it's very suitable for what you call it. It's very suitable for circular continuous motions. It's not meant to have reach. It's meant to have to basically fend off more easily. If that makes sense. And I don't think that the environments in which Jodie finds herself in, like in those offices and whatnot, the buildings and all that, something long would be probably a bad idea, unless he starts half swording, which I doubt. Like it would be nice, but like yeah. Does it actually consume stamina right now if you swing your weapons? Like, does swinging the axe, for example, consume stamina? Because that would be a nice way to balance it, so that people don't default to it too much. Okay, good. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. The reason why I say she shouldn't have a parry or a counter is because what are you gonna counter? Like, the weight of a human just jumping on you to eat you? I don't think so. So that's why I said she needs to be able, like, if it was up to me, it wouldn't be dodging, it would be just pushing off. Like, for example, with the axe, right? Either use the butt of the weapon to strike and push them off temporarily, or just the what do you call that, the shaft. I don't even know the terms, but yeah, the shaft of the weapon anyway, to basically push them off. Like that would be better in my opinion than like dodging is, I don't know, it's too nimble for her, in my opinion. It just appears way too nimble. power weapons would also be interesting. I guess. Wouldn't they be too broken? I don't know. Oh, something like that. Not sure if I would enjoy that. Like a cattle prod or something. I don't know if I would enjoy that. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I kind of hated it in that. I was like, whatever. You know what I want? I'll tell you what I actually want. And you know it too, but you just don't know it yet. Let me rephrase, you want it, but you don't know it. And that would be either a freezing weapon or a burning weapon. So either a flamer or the same but with like, a freezing effect. Yeah, a flamethrower would be interesting. Um, it would be very easy for it to backfire because if you think about it, that's why I suggested the frost weapon instead. Because what you want is to stop them, right? So if you want to stop them from harming you, freezing them would make more sense because what's worse than like a fuck ton of zombies after you? It's a fuck ton of zombies on fire after you. Because if that shit fucking corners you, you will burn with them. So I don't think you want that. I don't really think you want that. So I would go with the alien Romulus scenario, where it makes more sense to freeze than to have fire. As a measure against like something that can move fast and pounce at you, for example. Like imagine, I bet they could do that. I'm pretty sure they could actually. Imagine that you also use it on the floor, and then they just sleep for a bit, like they kind of like fall down and shit. That would be pretty funny. And then you just freeze them, or kill them or finish them off while on the floor. That would be hilarious. That would be like a freezing weapon would be so cool in Antidote. It would be so fucking cool. It doesn't have to shoot. It doesn't have to necessarily shoot anything. All it has to do is like literally the same principle as a flamethrower, except it freezes. It doesn't have to be realistic by science standards. All it has to do is like look amazing and have a fun effect. And if the fun effect is that you can additionally freeze the floor and then they can sleep on it or you can sleep on it if you're not careful, that would be hilarious. That would be a good weapon, honestly. Some cold gel, yeah, maybe. It doesn't have to be explainable. Let's be real here. It doesn't really have to be explainable. As long as it's fun to use and it has like a, it has a tactical sense to use it, and it looks cool, I think that's all it needs. Especially if the game is a little bit more futuristic, like a little bit, you know. And we are talking about an R&D company anyway, so why the fuck not? Maybe it also synergizes with like a mace weapon, right? Because you freeze them and then you quick melee them and they break. That would be fantastic. That would be fucking cool, you know? Good synergy there. No, I wouldn't go for gel. I would honestly go for literally just frost, you know. I would just go for that. I don't know. I can picture it and it looks in my head it looks pretty interesting visually. It would also have the disadvantage of like potentially also freezing you, like damaging you if you're in a tight space and like you know the whole the stream of it kind of like hits a wall near you and so you know it doesn't travel too much and you start getting frozen as well. Or if you sleep on the floor that you just froze and shit like that. Yeah, ideally it should. Yeah, ideally that's what it should do. That's what I'm saying. That it should offer synergy with other stuff like maybe grenades. You know, there's a bunch of zombies. You slow them down. They also freeze kinda. Throw the grenade. Pieces fall off. You know, they break off from the explosion. That would be interesting, I guess. Or use your mace to just like you know break off parts that are frozen. That if the engine can do that, that would be perfect. Honestly. Total freeze for Jody. But just be careful where you use it. Because it's the same with a flamethrower, right? You wouldn't use it like close to a wall and then turn and, you know, aim it at the wall and all the flames just end up like fucking you up, you know? So it comes with a disadvantage of like you need a situation to use it. It's not like something you could just spam in every single environment, you know? I can already see the idiots in the forum complaining. Fuck them, let them complain. I mean, obviously, these guys, like the two dudes in the basement over at China, they don't give a fuck about that because they already give you, for example, the Brain Smasher bomb, where you can just completely cancel out boss fights. So I think they don't really care about that in a good way, you know, not in a bad way, but in a good way. They want to let you have fun, right? So that's fine. Like something that freezes things but also backfires if you're not careful. Sounds like a fun tool, I guess, especially with the Unreal Engine. I guess it can do some interesting things if they can actually implement it. God, now I want to play Dead Space. Fuck. Now I kinda miss Dead Space so much. Fuck. Have you been to the TKA Discord? No, I'll never be there. You'll never catch me in such a den of degeneracy. No, but like, I'm kind of done with forums. I know it's not bad. I'm just kidding, obviously. I'm just joking. And even if it's bad, like, who the fuck cares? But like I'm kind of done with forums and suggesting things to like game devs or reddits of games and just going on there. Sometimes I do that for Guild Wars 2 when there is like a topic that really fucking interests me. I might just drop a word or something or debate something, some kind of balance issue, maybe sometimes. That's all I would do. I don't think I would bother going on a Discord and discussing actively about, anything, to be honest. You can see my suggestions for grab animation. Drawn in PowerPoint, down. In PowerPoint. Amazing. No, I think I'm okay. I think I'm actually okay. I don't think I'll join that Discord. I'm sorry to disappoint. But I'm curious about your animations, your PowerPoint animations. Damn. I'm so ready for Dead Space 2 remake. I'm so fucking ready for Dead Space 2 remake. Just god fucking damn it. It would be fucking huge if that happened. It would be so huge. I would stream the fuck out of it if it came out. I would stream and play the fuck out of it. No, it's not. It's not, and it probably will never happen because I don't know why. Numbers, sales, who the fuck knows? But like, Dead Space 1 remake was such a fucking love letter. It was a fucking love letter. That thing made sweet love to me. It was a sex doll in the form of a game, literally. Like I enjoyed it so much, and it was like the people who made it, they knew, they knew what Dead Space is, obviously, but they knew what made it right. What made it actually tick. They understood it so well. Uh, I don't. I don't think it was. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think, aside from Dead Space 1, the original, um, the rest kind of flopped. Like two was amazing. They put so much money into it, and it shows. Like the budget was crazy, the production was crazy, it was insane. And then it just didn't make them the money. I guess I don't know. People just, I don't know. Maybe they didn't like one too much either. I'm not fucking sure. I don't know what to say. But no, in general, I would say that Dead Space didn't do that well. So I think they said that like two is not possible, I guess, or I think I read it somewhere that like based on the sales and what we've seen in the past, like it's very unlikely that we'll see a two remake. Yeah, but I mean, people also played Dead Space 2 and found it extremely, they found it great. Let's just go and see the reviews of fucking Dead Space 2. They are stellar. They are fucking stellar. Everybody fucking loved that shit. It's so weird. Like it's not that it didn't sell. It's that it didn't sell enough for EA. That's the problem. they had some completely unrealistic expectations, like completely unrealistic expectations for how much it should sell. It should sell. Not only that, but like they wanted to push it to be this kind of live service kind of game. Especially for 3, they were trying to push that, and for some reason to appease like the arcade shooter kind of crowd. Yeah, the production cost was too high. That's true. But was it unnecessarily high? No. It shows, like, it shows. The quality is just very obvious. But realistically, it wouldn't sell enough to cover for that kind of cost, you know? And it's such a shame because, for example, with newer technology, it would have been like a more realistic pitch. But back then, I guess it was like way too much. Because now you see games that, for example, Callisto Protocol, right? Say what you will about Callisto Protocol, it fucking looks good. It fucking looks good, honestly. So if you can do that with today's engines, for example, perhaps they could, like, you know, yeah, good, very good visuals actually, honestly. Except the game is shit, of course. I refuse to play Callisto Protocol. I've watched videos, and it looks dank as fuck. It's basically Dead Space but bad. It's Dead Space but bad, literally. Yeah, I hoped it was gonna be like Dead Space as well. That's what I was hoping for, but it never fucking happened. You could tell from the first combat videos they showed, you could tell that there is something wrong. Everybody saw it. Everybody with a fucking brain cell knew instantly, especially Dead Space fans. We could tell because I'm a huge fan, by the way. But like, yeah, you could tell like something was off. Something was off with combat. Also, no offense to the actor, but having an actor in a game is such a bad idea. It is you can have the likeness of an actor. That's one thing. Because, for example, Isaac, right? In the original trilogy, Isaac looks like that American actor. I can't remember his name, but he's like if I showed him to you, but I can't because I don't know the name. You would be like, ah, yeah, that guy. That yeah, Isaac looks like him. But you can't immediately make the relation. You can't immediately say, oh, that's the actor. You know. But with Callisto Protocol, it literally is the actor, and so it kind of like breaks the immersion. I don't know if that makes sense. Because if it was a movie, that would have been okay. But because it's a game, it's like you're controlling the actor, not the character. I don't know. Some people had that issue. Not a lot, but like a few people had that issue. And I also had that issue. Like I can't. I can't. It's a real life person in a game. Like it's kind of like I can't, you know? So to me at least that also threw me off a lot. I was like not really good. I don't know. And the enemy design was so fucking monotonous. Boring enemies. I don't know, boring kill moves. Every kill move, every single kill move, including the new ones, like 90% of it is the guy's head being smashed. or pulled. It's either smashed or pulled. There's nothing else. Some monsters have like a more unique kill animations, like the one that kind of like latches onto your neck and pulls you close. I think it kind of has like a chomp animation, but again, it's basically just your head again. Yeah, somebody fucking hated this guy's face. Just getting it destroyed all the time. But like 90% of your kill moves are literally just the guy's head getting smashed. Like, that's all. There's nothing else happening. And what you do to them is also not interesting. Like, at least the kill moves. So, for example, the kill moves that Isaac does on monsters are far, far, far more imaginative, you know? And I especially love like the one, you know, that enemy with that looks like a fucking manta, the infector or whatever it's called, where if it tries to grab you and you counter it, he just stomps on the, you know, he stomps on the body of the thing, keeping it there, and then he rips off the fucking the mandible completely. That's pretty. It's very cathartic. It's like very fuck you, you know, like fuck you and your weird fucking tentacles and shit. Fuck all of that. I'm gonna rip it apart. Fuck you. Fuck your biology. Or the stupid fucking baby monsters where he kind of like you know, you throw it on the ground and then you fucking kick the fucking kid. It's so good. It's so fucking good. The first time I saw that, I was laughing so much, but like in a good way, you know. I was fucking cheering so hard. He kicked the damn thing. Oh my god. He fucking kicked the baby. I was so happy. I don't know. It was great, honestly. Like, Dead Space has some really great counter kill moves. And some really disturbing kill moves, to be honest. Half of that shit, I just I literally felt like uneasy. You know, it literally made me tighten my stomach muscles. I was like, you know, I didn't want to watch it. Especially the one where that fucking thing replaces your head, like fucking squeezes your neck so much that Isaac's head falls off and then it replaces his head, fucking burrows into your spine. Like, holy fucking shit. I couldn't stomach that. Like, that disturbed me. Or the other guy that like literally holds your mouth open and like vomits inside. Like, holy shit. That's how you do kill moves. That's how you do death animations. You make them fucking traumatic. For real. It was great. And then you have Callisto Protocol, where every enemy is the same and everybody just either rips your head off or smashes your head off. The needle scene with, yeah, that's in 2. That's in the second Dead Space. It was pretty cool. Imagine that with like today's graphics. Just, that's all I'm gonna say. Imagine that with today's fucking visuals. People would be legitimately unable to fucking look at it. I'm pretty much telling you. People would be unable to look at it. That's why it would be so fucking good. The depth drama. You kind of, you know what, about that, you kind of build tolerance. Like, if you're working on those animations every day for like a week, by the end of it, you just don't feel it. I mean, that's also why, you know, it's important to drill soldiers to shoot at targets that are like human shaped. So that you see, which is insidious, and I shouldn't be saying that, you know, I'm not celebrating it, I'm just saying that it's a fact. But like, you know, that's why they use targets that are more human-like, because you have to get used to seeing, you know, to dehumanize the target in your brain. To teach yourself that if it's the shape of a human and it's an opponent, you have to shoot them. You must not think that they have a family, you must not think that they might have a son, they might have a daughter. You know, it's a thing. That's how the human brain works. And I mean, yeah, if you're the animator of that and you're working on it like 24/7 for like a week, you won't feel anything by the end of it. You're gonna be eating McDonald's while fucking doing it. By the way, I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just mentioning the brand, whatever's. I mean, there are people you know what? There are people who watch um, videos of like doctors emptying out like infected cysts from like or huge fucking blackheads from people's faces. They zoom in on that thing and it looks like fucking, you don't want to know what it looks like. It's just you just build tolerance, I guess. Though in the case of those videos, I suppose some of the people are experiencing, I guess, relief, or it relaxes them to see that thing gone, or removed. Kind of gives them like a sense of like, I don't know, a cathartic sense, I guess. Maybe they can take that away from that, I suppose. Or the relief of the person themselves, the patient themselves is also something that you can get second-hand relief, let's say, if you're watching these videos, I suppose. So, you know, perhaps it's that. But still, the fact remains that you do build tolerance to various things, I would say. Not that you should, but your brain will do that. All right, I think it's time for me to go. I don't even have. It happened with horror in cinema. Yeah, I mean, as a kid, right? I used to watch so much horror that, like, right now, I don't know. To me, they look like action movies more than they look like horror movies. I don't think there's been any horror movie, with the exception of some shit like Hostel when it first came out, or Saw 3, like the scene with the pigs just getting ground and then powered on top of a guy in a fucking tank in a container. That grossed me out, for example. But like these examples are one in a million that I will, Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's a different kind of horror, though. The Exorcist was definitely a different kind of horror, which can still kind of get me. Not The Exorcist per se, but for example, what was it? The The Conjuring, for example, got me in some cases. Like in some scenes, it fucking destroyed me. And then there is like there is some animal movies that are horror movies which can actually get me. So, for example, what was it? That one in Florida with some crocodiles or some shit, and the hurricane that floods everything, and suddenly there's like fucking alligators or crocodiles or whatever they are like everywhere. It has, honestly, visually, it was a very nice movie. Visually, it was very nice. Um, I really just gave it a pass for that. I was like, yeah, visually, that's actually interesting to watch. But yeah, that kind of got me in a couple of scenes with how suddenly they would attack like the actors. I was just like, kind of scared, jump scared, you know. But actually grossed out. I don't think I've been grossed out in, I don't know, forever at this point. Which, by the way, it's not like I'm looking to be grossed out, you know. Just saying, like I do watch like a lot of horror movies. I don't know. I'm a fan. Oh, you know, there is actually a good. Is it a trilogy or more? I don't know. It's a whole thing anyway. It's called The Terrifier, and it's with a of all things, it's with a killer clown. But it's just done very well. It is really done quite well actually. So I'd say I kind of recommend it, and the thing that carries it is actually the killer. Like the actor fucking carries the thing so hard. He carries so fucking hard. Like his expressions, his mannerisms, and all that make him quite disturbing, I would say. Like if I saw a person like that, I would be disturbed. So the Terrifier, I can definitely recommend the Terrifier. I would say it's worth watching. I would say it's worth watching. But keep in mind, it's basically a slasher movie, clearly inspired by like 80s, 90s slasher movies. But it's just done well. It's really well done. So yeah, I recommend it. Saw and Hostel and all that are basically body horror at this point. It's just fucking gore, I guess. It's gore for the sake of gore. There's nothing else there. The Thing and Alien are great, and I actually enjoyed Romulus. The problem with Romulus is that like it's such a bad good movie. That's what I love saying about it. To me, Alien Romulus was a bad good movie. I can't explain it. It was a fun watch, but it was fucking bad. It's fun to watch. Honestly, I enjoyed it, but it's a bad movie. Like there are plot holes. There are things like that that's kind of annoying. It doesn't like yeah, some things don't make sense. Like the characters are not the best actually, except the android. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil. The android carries hard. Andy the android, he carries hard. um, I think the reviews are not doing it justice, in the sense of like it is a good movie. It's just bad at the same time. I can't like you have to watch it, and of course visually it's stunning. Visually 10 out of 10 easy. They got the atmosphere right. They got the visuals right. They got everything right. Like the environments, everything is perfect. Visually it's perfect in my opinion. Sounds and visuals perfect. I would say it's definitely worth a watch, and I would say, oof, yeah, absolutely. Covenant and Prometheus, I fucking hate both of them, and in my head they just don't exist. In my head they just don't fucking exist. They are trash. I fucking hate what they did to the lore. I hate what they did like to everything. Like I fucking hate them. I don't know. I don't like them at all. Pretentious garbage, in my opinion. They do kinda. Do you mind spoilers? And after that, I'm gonna leave. Like I need to leave after that, of course. But if you don't mind spoilers, I can tell you something that might interest you if you watched Covenant and Prometheus. Okay, all right. Well, they do mention like the black goo makes a comeback, but it's not like slapped in your face. It's actually better explained than in Prometheus or Covenant. It's like it's there. Um, it plays a role in the plot, but not in a way that it annoys you. and not in a way that you need to have watched Covenant to, you know, to enjoy it. It's like an extra plot point that works on its own. But if you've watched Prometheus and Covenant, then you will recognize it. You will be like, ah, you know, it's that. It's the black goo. Anyway, so thank you for watching though. And as always, excellent chatting with you. I always have fun. And thanks for watching to everyone, basically, assuming people are here, which is a bold assumption on my part as a fucking shit streamer. But hey, you know, you never fucking know. I can't tell. So, you know. But I can tell what I did was actually, I can now see precisely all the follows and subscriptions. So I guess I fixed that. So there is that. That's a good thing. That works now. That's a huge upgrade for my stream. That finally works. But anyway, yeah, the point was, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great night. And I'll catch you tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm gonna do tomorrow on stream. We'll see. Maybe what I want to do for sure is finish the rest of the... Where is it? Is finish the rest of this stupid video. So I'm gonna pin it right now. And I'm gonna like watch to the end. But so far I'm not impressed by Mutineer over there being all self-contradictory and shit. It's kind of like weird. But whatever. I also don't want to defend VeilGuard because really it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up as a Dragon Age game. Like it fucked up so hard. It's unbelievable. Anyway, alright, so take care. Sleep tight. Lots of kisses. And I'll catch you all tomorrow, okay? And for now, I'll just go and have some snack or something. Alright. Bye bye.